Hello friends, today I am going to explain the 6-step strategy for dealing any case study in ethics GS4 paper of UPSC. Let us start that, and I will share a very brief document which I have prepared. This is basically a 6-step method, and step by step we can analyze a case study, and we can arrive at proper answer as far as case study is concerned. First step in this is, if we see, identify the stakeholders. This is very important, because unless we identify the stakeholders properly, we will not be able to evaluate which stakeholder is being affected how. So while listing the stakeholders, we should understand that stakeholders can be individuals, groups, or institutions, or even sometimes future generations. For example, if an environmental case study is there, then future generations also will become the stakeholder. Then we should also remember that stakeholders may be direct or indirect also. So that also should keep in mind. Then second point is, describe the core ethical issues. What are the ethical dilemmas involved in this? Whether it is uh, honesty versus compassion, whether it is loyalty versus public interest, whether it is short term versus long term, whether it is individual versus community. So all these things also we should keep in mind, and we should list out properly. Then third point is, enumerate possible course of action. Because see, after analyzing the stakeholders and ethical dilemmas, we should find out what are the viable alternatives available to the civil servant or to the bureaucrat or the concerned person who is going to decide. So once we list all the options, then only we will be able to evaluate. But we should keep one thing in mind, that all options which we are proposing, all alternatives which we are suggesting, should be legal and realistic. We cannot suggest any or think of suggesting any option which is illegal and unrealistic in administrative and governance context. So this is very important. Then evaluate each option using ethical principles. I told in other videos also, there are about 30 odd ethical principles which can be applied in different case studies. Of course, different ethical principles apply, but this definitely we should know all those 30 ethical principles. And in my next videos, I'm going to describe and explain those 30 ethical principles also, which will be quite useful to the candidates. But here I just want to tell, evaluating each option, you have to use appropriate ethical principles to justify or reject that option. For example, it can be virtue ethics of Aristotle, it can be deontology of Kant, or it can be utilitarianism of Mill or Bentham. So, or even justice theory of Rawls. So, all these things are even Gandhian ethics, or even from Gita, or even Buddhism. So, all these things we should remember, and appropriately we should apply while evaluating each option. We should list out pros and cons of each option, and then accordingly we can decide. Then we should recommend most ethical and justifiable course of action. So once we are able to evaluate the options, 3 or 4 options which are available to us, we will be able to know which is most appropriate option here, or which is most appropriate alternative. And accordingly, we can justify using various ethical terms, using various ethical theories, and also we can use the various philosophers and their ideas and their this thing. Then we can conclude with philosophical and constitutional grounding. We have to also use Constitution, particularly Constitution of India, because a lot of constitutional values are mentioned in preamble, as well as fundamental rights, as well as directive principles of state policy. So all those things also we need to mention properly. Along with that, we should also mention various philosophers or the ethical theorists from India as well as from Western world. For example, Gandhi, Kant, Buddha, John Rawls, etc., to name a few. There are several others also. So once we are able to describe this properly, we will be able to definitely explain, and we will arrive at some conclusion, that what is the conclusion as far as the case study is concerned, what is the appropriate conclusion that we can arrive at. So accordingly, then we will be able to write our answer properly. So with this, I am going to close this video today. Next videos, definitely, I am going to come up with explanation regarding various ethical theories which are which we should know and we should be able to apply. So in next short videos, I will be one by one each and every ethical theory I will be explaining. So with this, I want to close this and I thank all the viewers. Thank you.